There is talk in the nation's capital the president-elect may announce his Supreme Court pick very soon, or he may at least be narrowing down his list of 21 people to 3 or 4. Paul Strand has more now from Capitol Hill.
This choice matters so much because Trump's nomination or nominations could sway the direction of the court and Americans' rights for decades to come, which is why it was such a big deal for many voters.
The Trump transition team is actually moving faster than many of those in recent years, so it wouldn't be all that surprising for Trump to also announce his Supreme Court nominee early. After all, this issue was one of the biggest for voters this election.
It was something like 75% of people who voted said that the Supreme Court was either an important or the most important issue that they voted for.
The Heritage Foundation's John Malcolm is a legal expert who came up with a list of 8 nominees, 6 of whom made it to Trump's list of 21 judicial nominees. He says all are distinguished and believe in adhering to the Constitution.
They'll look at the text and structure of the Constitution and will interpret that according to its original public meaning at the time those phrases were ratified. And that is very, very important and meaningful to conservatives.
And one very important issue that's generally been overlooked, not only will Trump choose Antonin Scalia's replacement on the Supreme Court, he may also pick about a third of judges on lower federal courts, which make many more rulings than the High Court itself.
So the Supreme Court decides between 70 and 80 cases per year. Times it's been more, times it's been less, but about 70 to 80 cases per year. In the 13 federal courts of appeals last year, they decided 55,000.
And it's likely he'll nominate 3 or 4 Supreme Court justices.
Stephen Breyer is going to be 78 years old, Anthony Kennedy is going to be 80 years old, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg is going to be 83 years old. I don't wish any of them ill health whatsoever, but they will each have already lived longer than the average lifespan for a man or woman in this country.
With Trump likely to get not just one, but several Supreme Court vacancies to fill, it won't be all that surprising if someday history talks about not just a Reagan court or a Roosevelt court, but a Trump court as well. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from the Supreme Court.